What concerns me about Jamal Bowman is he has a history of aggression, not just towards others, but towards me in particular, and I'm very concerned about it. He has aggressive, his physical mannerisms are aggressive. I think there's a lot of concern about Jamal Bowman. So, and I am concerned about it. I feel threatened by him. I am very concerned about Jamal Bowman, and he's someone that people should watch.
Okay. Aggression. Aggressive. His physical mannerisms are aggressive. I feel threatened by him. I am very concerned about Jamal Bowman. Gee, Basil, what's she trying to say?
Yeah, this story is important to me for a number of reasons. Jamal Bowman represents the district that I spent half my life in growing up. My family's still there. So I'm very keen on what he does and does not do in the district and in D.C. And this is an extraordinary story because it brings up Emmett Till, all of those racial tropes. Marjorie Taylor Greene is the same person who, before she was a member of Congress, basically ambushed David Hogg, the Parkland shooting survivor, as he was going into the Capitol. This is a person that went up to AOC's office to try to ambush her with cameras on an issue. And so for her to talk about the physicality of Jamal Bowman, to continue to push through these racial tropes is very, very scary, because not only does it sort of run contrary to who we should be as a nation in terms of getting away from that, but it puts Jamal Bowman at risk of harm. And it is so incredibly irresponsible for her to do that.
Right. And he's someone that people should watch, is what she said.
Yeah, it's so disturbing because, frankly, it's Marjorie Taylor Greene who's had the white national rhetoric of anti-Semitism, and racial bigotry, and who has really called to arms. And she was commenting there after somewhat of a confrontation between the two of them. But she was the one pumping her fist in the air, not Congressman Bowman. And what I also, I mean, I'll say it, that she's afraid of a big black man. That's what she's trying to say. And she's afraid, I'm just saying, there you go. And she's afraid of that. And she's, you know, Basil and I were talking about this in the green room. I worry because it seems like we're a society now that is becoming okay with violence and at times death. If we look at the choking of Neely, like that is one example. We see people shooting people when they ring a doorbell. Like if it's so easy to get away with violence and perhaps murder. Yeah. I mean, putting a target on anybody's back is a dangerous thing, but now she's saying it's okay because he's threatening.
That's right.
Right. And I don't believe for a minute that she, well, how on earth is she? She knows what she's doing. It's like the Central Park birder thing.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. I actually had that in mind to say, because and look, and I'm a 6'3" black man, and I am mindful of how I move and how I walk. I watch people. I watch how they may recoil or tuck their person if I'm walking by, whether I'm wearing a suit or not. Right. So what she's doing is ages old in how she's talking about African Americans, particularly men, and it's dangerous. And I wish more people would call her out for it. So thank you for doing this, by the way. But more people need to call it out, because it is not only, it is not only deeply, deeply racist, but it also puts individuals that are the targets of this at risk. That bird watcher in Central Park, were it not for a video, could have been in jail or worse. Right, or worse.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is a bully, and I think that's probably the kindest thing I can say.
That is the nicest thing I've ever heard.
On national television on a Sunday morning and still be employed. Basil Smikle Jr., Susan Del Percio, this has been great. So great to see.